Welcome to Let's Talk Football with me, Chris.
And me, Richard.
The podcast bringing you the latest in football news. Every week we discuss all the big talking points from the world of football and preview all the action in the week to come.
In this week's podcast, Emery takes the reins at Villa after Gerrard is sacked. After only winning 2 games from 11, he was 1 apiece at Stamford Bridge after Ronaldo was dropped over his behaviour during the fantastic United performance in the midweek game that saw them beat Tottenham.
That's not what it says. Whoa. That's not what it says. That's not what it says. That's not what it says. Read it properly. Go on. Read it properly. What does it say? Read it.
I've read all I'm reading.
No, read it. What does it say?
Which saw them absolutely tear Tottenham apart.
Thank you very much. Carry on.
And a truly fantastic performance, in fact. Yeah.
Well said.
And City closed the gap at the top to 2 points with a win over Brighton, while Arsenal could only draw with Southampton.
Lots and lots to talk about again this week. Well read. I mean, I don't disagree with anything you've said there in the intro. So let's talk football. Right, here we are. Welcome back, everyone.
Welcome back. Hello, everybody.
Hello. It's been a good week of football.
No, it's not been a good week.
It's been great. I think
it's been awful, and I think we should not talk about it.
I mean, all right, it's a very short podcast.
Goodbye.
But let's start then with the big news that has kind of broken over the last couple of days, really, and that is Unai Emery taking over at Aston Villa.
Yep.
I'm a bit surprised.
I'm very surprised. It's an odd choice.
But it's not. I don't think it's necessarily odd from a Villa point of view. For me, it's more odd from an Emery point of view.
Yeah. I can see that.
I mean, I'm pretty sure they must have thrown big money at him.
We turned down the Newcastle job, right?
Yeah.
Last year.
But he says he can't
to stay with Villarreal.
Yeah, but then he couldn't turn this one down. But I think surely, out of the two of them, the Newcastle job was probably the most attractive at this point.
Perhaps it was too big of a rebuild, maybe.
Well, Eddie Howe has certainly proved him wrong on that one.
Yep. And I suppose he got his fingers burnt last time. He tried to do a rebuild with Arsenal, didn't he? Essentially.
Yeah, but I mean, even this Villa job's not a everyone's ear sort of job, though, is it? Do you know what I mean?
No, but they're in a much
quality.
better. They're in a little bit better shape than that Arsenal team were after Wenger left, I think.
I would disagree with you on that. That Arsenal team would, finish 5th in the league the year that Wenger left?
Yes, yeah.
This Villa team was scrapping relegation.
Yeah.
Last season. So I would disagree with you slightly on that one. I know you want to take your little pot shot at Arsenal, but...
it wasn't a pot shot at Arsenal. It was just a...
But I think that Arsenal...
On paper, Villa have got a good side. They just need someone to extract it from them.
Yeah, but there's... I was just a bit surprised that Emery took it, is the overall thing, because,
Perhaps he just watched the game on Sunday. And went,
maybe that's what it was.
This is good.
Yeah, there's actually something there to work with. I don't know, but it just seems strange because he's very embedded at Villarreal.
Yeah.
And so it's a bit of an uplift for him.
It's a bit of upheaval. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't stay over for 2 weeks because you'll wait for a work permit.
Yeah. No, there is that. But I do feel sorry a bit for Gerrard as well, because apparently they sacked him after the game, but before he got on the coach.
Oh, so he had to go all the way back to Birmingham, which in itself is a task.
He had to get on the coach and travel back with the Villa players, knowing that he hadn't got a job.
Anymore.
There was a good chance that the Villa players all knew it too.
Yeah.
So that would have been a fun journey.
He would probably have been sitting at the front of the bus, stony-faced, arms folded.
Yeah.
And probably didn't say a word to anybody.
Hood up.
Yeah.
Listening to whatever he listens to, going, nope, not interested. Go away now. But yeah, it's a shame really in one respect, because obviously, young English manager, you want to see him do well to a degree.
Yep.
But it just wasn't quite working for him, was it, at Villa, for whatever reason?
No, for whatever reason, it just wasn't working. And
he was making a few odd decisions,
Choices,
I think, in
yeah.
games, and something that just didn't quite fit right. I mean, I remember the Bailey substitution that he made. I can't remember who they were playing now, and he brought him off, and they needed a goal.
Yeah,
and it's just
it was about a month ago, wasn't it? They brought
yeah,
him off. Yeah.
It's a bit weird, but hopefully he can learn from it, and we'll see what he does next. Really, because he did a really good job up at Rangers.
Yeah.
Different league, obviously, in the Scottish League to the Premier League, but
I think we'll see him somewhere in the Championship before
there's
the
a
end
good
of the season.
there's a good shout that might be his next destination. It'd be probably useful.
It will be a use. It's a learning curve.
Exactly. I mean,
managing in the Premier League.
Yeah, and the Steven Gerrard, you're always going to have some interest around you wherever you manage next.
Absolutely, because of the playing career he had.
Exactly, yeah. But I think there'll be less pressure on him if he picks the right club in the Championship.
I wouldn't say there'd be less pressure on him because there'll still be a pressure to deliver.
Yes,
whoever you are in the Championship, because they all have that same ambition.
Yeah, but there's going to be less scrutiny on him in the Championship.
Yeah, less scrutiny is a better phrasing for it. Yeah, there will definitely be less eyes pressure.
Yeah. And yes, I mean, very similar to what Michael Carrick sort of done this week.
Yeah, Middlesbrough for Michael Carrick.
Going into Middlesbrough. Be interested
Jonathan
to see how he
Woodgate
gets
is
on.
his assistant as well, which is a nice move.
Yeah. Well, he's from, they're both from around that part of the world.
They are, yeah. Former Middlesbrough manager, Jonathan Woodgate.
So we'll see how he gets on there. I'm sure you were going to mention it later, but we've mentioned it now.
To be honest, it wasn't in around the world.
It wasn't in. No. Well, there we go.
It wasn't in around the world. So there we go.
Put it in. We've put it in. Right, let's talk about the football then this weekend. Let's move on to that. A few interesting games going on. It's a bit difficult to understand where to really start, really. Obviously, Villa had their big... Let's start with Villa and their performance, their turnaround against Brentford at Villa Park this weekend. 4-0 from out of nowhere.
3-0 up after 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Cruising.
That's it, isn't it? After that. It's bizarre how it happens.
It's just... It's a fresh set of eyes, it's a fresh set of ears, sort of thing for the managers, or for the caretaker at least. Obviously, they didn't know that Unai Emery was going to be the manager at that point. No,
there was no one to try and impress at that point. No. But it was very strange how they could turn it on like that. I mean,
they had more shots in one game against Brentford than probably had them in about 3 or 4 games combined.
And it's probably fair.
Yeah,
probably fair. Coutinho was on the bench for most of the game though, and maybe his form.
Maybe
I think Buendia played instead, and maybe that was one of the things that Coutinho wasn't quite in form, but he's Gerrard's mate essentially. Played former teammate, brought him in. Thought I can't really drop him.
To be fair with Steven Gerrard, obviously he tried just Coutinho on his own. He tried Buendia and Coutinho together.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he necessarily tried Buendia without Coutinho.
Yeah.
So your point is very valid in terms of it's his mate. He gets in the team because he's his mate.
Yeah, and there's no one doubting Coutinho's qualities.
No, because on his day he's unplayable.
Yeah, but if you're out of nick, maybe
you need to be on the bench. Yeah,
just give him a bit of a rest. And but it was a good performance from Villa, one that they needed desperately.
Desperately, it gives them a bit of breathing space down the bottom.
It does.
So, that is starting to get a bit congested.
Well, it is. Well, everyone's as well though. People are winning.
Yeah.
So I mean, obviously the big shock of the weekend, and which we might as well go into now, was Forest. In Liverpool.
And I thought they were good value for it, Forest.
I thought they were very, very good for it. I mean, Liverpool probably should have scored. I mean, I'm thinking
Virgil van Dijk should have scored at least one.
Yeah, he could have had 2. I don't know why he's heading that first one back across the goal.
No, not from that angle.
You're there. You're right in front of the goal. Why are you doing that?
Yeah,
that is unbelievable. And even the second one that he had,
teammate from 4 yards out. No.
Yeah, no. Just what are you doing? But no, they lacked a bit. Liverpool, I felt it was the Liverpool that we were used to seeing before the Rangers second half.
Yeah.
And I was very intrigued actually because I felt I felt against City, they dropped quite deep.
Yeah.
They dropped deeper. But then, I can't remember where I said this last week, I might not have done. Where I was like, it'll be interesting to see if they stick to that lower line against other teams.
Yeah, no, you did say that last week, and they didn't. They played the higher line.
They went back and they got various occasions really where Forest could have scored.
Oh yeah, if they'd had, they were talking about it during the commentary of having the understanding between the players. If it had been better, it would have been a better pass. It would have been a more accurate pass.
Yeah.
You would have laid it in to somebody a little bit easier. But they got in 3 or 4 times, Forest.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Again, because they're playing that high line that is just not working for them at the minute because they haven't got that energy up front to use the front foot. Yeah. That front foot press isn't there anymore.
And Dean Henderson, I will say, had a blinder.
He did. There was one in particular, wasn't there, towards the end?
Near enough point blank.
Yeah, and he dragged the ball from behind him and pulled it back through. Yeah, it was very good.
Even Serge Aurier had a good game.
Yeah.
That is saying something.
Yeah, I thought he was very good actually. Once all the attacking players had gone off as well, he seemed to be their outlet.
Yeah, he was. One thing Serge Aurier can do, he can run.
Yeah, so they were getting the ball out wide to him, and he was just running past. He was being the outlet. Because once they'd taken off Owini and Lingard had come off, and they tried to protect their lead.
They tried to protect their lead, and they,
which is fair enough.
Did it successfully. Yeah.
Yeah, although Alisson comes up again, and you're thinking, oh, here we go, here we go, here it comes. But it wasn't to be for Liverpool.
To be fair, Liverpool don't have a great record against Forest statistically.
No. But, I mean, there's a lot of years though, isn't there, between?
There's a lot of years between them, but obviously they've never beaten them when they've been in the Premier League together, which is staggering when you think about it. But
it is
actually,
really.
It's only 5 games.
Yeah. But unfortunately, it wasn't enough to keep them off the bottom for long.
No.
If at all.
No, it wasn't long. No, because Leicester.
Yeah.
Leicester City. Oh, they're on the resurgence.
They are. With a big win over Wolves.
I really don't know where Wolves go.
I think Wolves are struggling this year.
I've said this, I don't know how many times now.
Yeah.
They just look completely devoid of any confidence, any ideas. Obviously, they're not scoring goals. They're conceding bagfuls of goals.
They're in trouble, Wolves.
They are in deep trouble. Obviously, they've said about the new manager that Steve Davis will be in charge until the World Cup.
Yeah.
Which is only 3 weeks, admittedly. But if you haven't found a decent manager now, what does 3 weeks do? I don't really understand.
I guess it might give them a bit more. I mean, the thing is, you'd kind of think that they'd want to get someone in to have a look at the squad before the World Cup, wouldn't you? Because you'd think, right, let's have 2 or 3 weeks with the players. Let's see what I think I need. And then we can put some plans in place throughout the World Cup for what we're going to do in January.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But it's a strange one. It's a strange one.
They're not going to have an abundance of players go to the World Cup. They might have maybe 5 or 6 Wolves.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Neves, Coutinho.
A couple of the Portuguese guys.
Yeah. Sarr probably might
Tomato.
go. Yeah.
Those kind of guys. But
those kind of players will go, but yeah.
But for me, I think there's a worry for Wolverhampton.
There should be a worry.
And I don't think we can actually underestimate the loss in the dressing room of Connor.
Connor Cody, yeah.
Connor Cody, that's him. Connor Cody going off. I prefer Cody Connor, it's a better name. Yeah, so I think him moving out of that dressing room has been had quite the effect on Wolves, actually, I think.
Yeah, because he's the captain of the team. Obviously, he had a disagreement with the former manager, who is now not the manager.
Yeah.
And obviously, you can't now get him back.
No, he's well embedded at Everton at this point.
Yeah.
But the one positive I'd say for Wolves is they're not cut adrift.
No.
There's time to be able to turn it around, but they need to get someone in who can have a look at this squad before they go out before January. Maybe they can't be in. Maybe they're just not in a position to improve the squad in January.
Maybe because obviously we discussed that at the start of the season, didn't we? That Wolves didn't really do a lot of business. So
that might just be something that they're having to deal with this year, and I'm kind of hoping that they'd be able to get through. But maybe they might look at some loan, maybe a loan deal or two.
They may do. I mean, as we've said, they've been incredibly unlucky with injuries at the top of the pitch.
Yeah,
incredibly
absolutely
unlucky.
Yeah, they need to get that one addressed, I think. But Leicester, on the other hand, have been really good. James Maddison is in the form of his life right now.
Yeah.
Really, really knocking on that door.
Man knows World Cup is coming.
He does know the World Cup is coming. And I think I don't
think he makes the final 26.
I don't, and that's not because I wouldn't put him in there. I just don't think Southgate does.
Yeah,
and I think
I agree.
That's the thing, and he'll get a lot of stick for it, Southgate.
Well, he's a creative player. I mean, you saw with some of the play on Saturday. On Sunday, once he comes alive on the ball, Maddison, there are very few better.
Absolutely. But I think his problem is where he plays and who he's up against.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
You know, because in Southgate's mind, Foden, Sterling,
Saka,
Mount, Saka,
Grealish,
they're all ahead of him.
Yeah.
In Southgate's mind, you might have a different opinion. I think he's in better nick than a couple of those players right now.
Grealish in particular, because Grealish just doesn't play for Manchester City.
Absolutely, yeah. So he's in better form than a few of them. I just don't think Southgate's going to pick him.
No, I agree.
We should find out soon as well, shouldn't we?
Well, he's done the 55 provisional squad, but he just hasn't told anybody.
Oh, good. 55, that's a big number.
Yeah, well, it's got to be narrowed down to 26.
Yeah.
In about 2 weeks, I think.
Okay.
He names the final squad.
Thing is, he's keeping a very broad church, isn't he? Just in case of injuries and stuff. So I reckon he probably has in mind.
That's what FIFA have given them. They've all given them 55, so you can name up to 55 in the provisional squad, and then you have to give them a final 26.
Yeah.
So
very,
we
very
might have made it, Chris. You never know.
Might have. Number 54.
I'll be number 53.
Okay, right. Let's move on then. Where to go to next? It's really difficult because I'll tell you what, we've got to talk Leeds Fulham.
Yeah, I was going to say Leeds Fulham.
Leeds Fulham, what a game that was.
Jesse Marsch is in trouble.
He's in a spot of bother. That's for sure. You know, Leeds obviously take the lead, but then the turnaround from Fulham. Fulham have just been a step ahead of what I ever thought they could be actually this year.
Yeah, they have found their feet and they are playing some good football.
Yeah, they seem to have finally cracked it.
Cracked the code. To be fair, Fulham were a regular mainstay of the Premier League for what, 6-7 years?
Yeah,
before they were relegated.
Back in the late 2000s, wasn't it?
Yeah. So they've got previous for sticking around. They're just not very good at it.
Yeah, it's just recent years. It's just been up and down, hasn't it? Because they haven't really invested properly, but they've invested well this summer. They've got a good manager. They've got, Mitrovic has fired in the Premier League finally after tearing up the Championship every time.
Hurt you. I mean, Willian is a brilliant signing. Willian.
Oh, brilliant for them.
Because he knows the league.
Yeah.
He's not as quick as what he used to be, but his mind is still there.
That's it. That's all he needs. And he got his goal late on. It's the one that secured it, really, with Leeds scoring in injury time.
Yeah.
But I'm very impressed for Fulham. They are now sitting very comfortably in 7th place, ahead of Liverpool.
Only 2 points behind you.
We've got a game in hand.
We've got a game in hand on them, yeah.
Serve Liverpool, in fairness, serve Liverpool and Brighton.
Yeah.
But no, I think that Fulham will be delighted to have 18 points on the board.
Yeah.
Leeds, on the other hand, have dropped into the relegation zone after that.
Yeah. 4 defeats on the bounce.
Yeah, and it's looking tricky for them now. They've only got 2 wins under their belt this season.
Yeah. Again, it's a lot like we were talking about earlier. If you can't score goals, which obviously they did at the weekend, but they concede far too many leads. They're too open.
They always have. They have been, to be honest. That's been one of their traits since they came back, wasn't it?
Yeah. Bielsa, obviously they were very
in particular.
open.
Yeah, Bielsa in particular, because of the style that he was. But I felt like Jesse Marsh had got him in a place, particularly the end of last season. Excuse me, the back end of last season in particular, where he tightened them up a bit, hadn't he?
Yeah.
But this season they seem to have just fallen away.
Seem to have opened up again. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's very, very odd.
Yeah, because you need that stability at the back, particularly if you're going to be where Leeds are going to be in that bottom sort of 7 or 8.
That's it.
You can't afford to lose to teams that are potentially going to be around you, and Fulham would have fallen into that category.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Although they might argue, Fulham, we're in a European battle here.
Yeah, at the moment they are. Yeah.
Yep. This is where we're at. And speaking of surprising European pushes,
oh God,
do we want to
Southampton?
We're going to head to the Tottenham Stadium quickly. Get this one over and done with.
Don't want to go with.
Because Newcastle beating Spurs puts them in the top 4.
Yep.
After obviously
good value for it, Newcastle.
Yeah, very good.
Good value for it. Can't have no complaints whatsoever.
It's been a bad week for Tottenham.
It has, and I know there's a lot on social media about the Callum Wilson goal.
Mm-hmm.
For me, that's not a foul.
I don't think it was a foul either. I was getting ready to have a proper.
No. I
thought you were going to come
agree.
With your tinted glasses on, and I'd have to.
No. I don't even know why Hugo's gone for it. To be honest, Dyer was there.
That's it.
So he's gone for it. He's made Callum Wilson's decision easy for him.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously Almiron with the second goal, which is so bad defensively at the minute. Obviously we were missing Romero, who is a big miss when he's not there. But obviously we're missing Richarlison. Kulusevski's the one we're missing the most.
Yeah, at the top end.
Yeah.
He's been very, very good.
But everyone's just having a brain fart at the minute.
It's not going well.
It's not ideal. I mean, we're still third. Let's not,
Yeah.
The house hasn't fallen down.
But you've still got a lot of big games to come.
Yeah, we've got Liverpool coming up. So,
Yeah, when you look at United, we've already played City, Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea, and Tottenham. We've played all 5 of you in our first 11 games.
Yeah.
And we've got 20 points.
Yeah. But
and actually, we've lost to 2 teams who at this point I don't think we would be losing to.
Yeah.
Given the turnaround that United have had.
Yeah. But no, Newcastle were good value for it. We got the goal back. You never looked like we were going to get another one.
No, it wasn't. It's not looking very good.
At the moment.
At the moment, indeed. And who knows? Maybe Conte goes. Maybe the Juve job's not too bad after all.
We were having this discussion at the weekend, funnily enough. Whether Conte goes or not and what happens.
Yeah.
People think he's too negative. I can see why people think he's too negative. But then you've got to look at his track record and go, look, right, we're third in the table.
Yeah, but you knew what you were getting with Conte.
Yeah.
And everyone was all for him when he first came through the door. So you can't be surprised that you're getting a Conte style of football when it's what you all wanted. That is the way that he plays football. He always has.
It's not what the majority want. Tottenham have this history of playing attacking front foot football.
Winning nothing.
Exactly. That's the argument. It's all white playing swashbuckling football. But what have we got to show for it?
Yeah.
So, it's one of them ones. But no, as I say, full credit to Newcastle. Let's talk about someone else.
All right, then let's go. Let's just wind us back to Stamford Bridge then. Let's wind us back to Stamford Bridge.
Did we have to go to Chelsea of all places?
Chelsea of all places. And the game that nobody wanted to lose.
No.
As I call it. Although I think after half an hour, United should have had at least a goal.
Yeah.
We were absolutely all over him that first half an hour. We forced Potter into going, right, I need to change this.
Yeah, we're taking Cucurella off.
Took Cucurella off, changed his shape, brought Kovacic on because there was too much space for United in the midfield. Way too much room.
And then Chelsea had the better of probably the next half an hour or so.
Yeah. And then the second half I felt was very bitty. I don't think anyone really got hold of it. There was a lot of mistakes, I think, from both teams in the second half, which then culminated in McTominay with a soft but a fair foul in the box.
Yeah, absolutely. I wish more of those were given.
Yeah.
Because then it would just stop it altogether.
But that is the problem. That is the inherent problem, though, isn't it? It's not consistent. Those decisions aren't consistently given. It just depends on who the guy is in the middle that you get.
But if you've got two arms around your opponent, that's a foul.
Yeah, I agree.
And
although we did go down.
You can always go around and go, "Oh, it wasn't me, ref." No, you've got two arms around him.
Yeah,
that's my one bugbear with corners in the Premier League. That the player who is defending the corner has always got too much of an eye on the man he's marking rather than the ball.
Well, sometimes you get caught out with that. Sometimes you don't know, don't it? And it just depends on the situation. But
just keep your eye on the ball. Don't worry about the man.
Yeah, that was to be.
If you're in the right place when the ball arrives at you, then you're going to head the thing away, aren't you?
That's it. But the penalty was well taken from Jorginho. I kind of had a feeling he'd go the other way.
Yeah, because he normally goes.
Yeah, because he normally goes into that bottom left. And I thought, this is a big game, a big moment. He very rarely goes that way, so I reckon he'll go that way this time, and he did.
Yeah,
he slots it away. But then the drama. Luke Shaw with a beautiful cross finds. Well, does he really find Casemiro? I mean, Casemiro really finds it for me. He kind of. I don't know how he moved his neck.
Above everybody else, didn't he?
He leapt up, but I don't know. I mean, he's taking it off McTominay's head, who's probably got the easier header.
Yeah.
But the way he wrapped his neck around it, I don't know how he did it. Like, he must have neck muscles like a Formula 1 driver.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. The way he bent his neck backwards, pulled it back. I mean, Kepa gets the touch on it.
But he can't save it.
But he can't keep it out.
Too far. It's just too far in the corner.
Yeah, it was a wonderful header. Wonderful header.
Mad celebrations.
It won all. He did, and he loved his first goal for United. He certainly did. But it was
Cristiano Ronaldo was nowhere to be seen.
Nowhere to be seen, but he's back in training.
So he's been disciplined.
He's been disciplined. He's done that. So it'll be interesting to see how he reacts from that. Yeah. He put this Instagram post out, which was sort of an apology.
Yeah.
Sort of. He didn't actually say the words, I'm sorry. But he did kind of say, in the heat of the moment, I probably shouldn't have done what I did.
Yeah, which is fair.
Which is fair, because he shouldn't have done. You know, Erik ten Hag confirmed that he refused to come on the pitch against Tottenham.
Which I found very bizarre that he refused to come on.
Because he normally scores against Tottenham. So there was a goal in it for him.
But why refuse
maybe a hat-trick
to come on?
Yeah, it's odd that. Oh, it's odd that. I don't know.
You know, if he's not been selected to come on and he storms down the tunnel, then you can kind of see his point. Yeah.
Well, even so, no, because you're not... No, you don't get to walk. Like, imagine if any of your football players did that. Yeah. Right. And it was like, they're not coming on, and then they stop because they're not coming on. They walk off down the tunnel, and then they leave the ground, by the way. He left the ground. He didn't just leave. Yeah. He jumped in his car and went home.
To be fair, we have had that instance before.
Yeah.
Hossam Ghali did it, 10 years ago?
Yeah.
Under Harry, I think?
Mm-hmm.
Under Harry Redknapp. Never seen again.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, he got substituted off and just stormed down the tunnel. And
But he's been disciplined. He's back in training with the first team. We'll see how he reacts. We'll see what it is, how it all goes. I think Erik ten Hag has handled it as best as he possibly could.
Yeah.
He's been very honest and very open about it. You know, come out and said, he said, I have to set the standards.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think he's done very well.
It's going to be a very interesting thing to keep your eye on.
It will be. I think he might set. I think Ronaldo just now needs to realise that he's 37.
He's a bit part player now. Yeah.
It's not so much a bit part, but he's not going to start every single game, every single week, and it's probably for his own good, and it will lengthen his career.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think if he wasn't in so much trouble right now, I'd be getting Ryan Giggs on the phone to him. Do you know what I mean? If it wasn't, you know what I mean? It'd be like.
I think Ryan Giggs has got bigger problems, but yeah.
Well, he has. That's exactly what I'm saying. So, but maybe Scholes would be a better person for him to go and talk to. Then it's just like. The thing with Scholes though,
Wayne Rooney.
The thing is though, Scholes wasn't as fit as Ronaldo was. Do you know what I mean? He didn't have the physique or whatever. So, but I think he just needs to learn now that, and take that in and go, right, I can still affect games. I can't do it every week, and I personally think we play better without him.
Oh, you said that through gritted teeth, didn't you?
Well, I do, because it's not necessarily the most agreed thing in the world, but I genuinely do think that we play better without him in the team. I think we have a bit more energy. The only thing we lack is the finish, which he can give you.
Yeah, he can.
So that's the trade-off.
Something out of nothing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the trade-off really with him. It's like, well, we play better as a unit when he's not in the team.
Yeah.
But we're missing chances galore.
Yeah.
I mean, my favourite game to play now, and shout out alternate Uniteds who do really funny commentary on United games. My favourite game to play now, when Rashford goes 1-on-1, he's Walcott or Pele. Either he's going to smash it right at the goalkeeper or smash it right in the top corner, and it's my favourite game to play. But at the minute, he's more Walcott than Pele.
I think we have a title for this week's podcast, folks.
Walcott or Pele, which is true, because he's missed so many chances this week. This week, he's missed so many chances. I mean, Lloris last week.
Oh, Hugo was superb.
He's got a vendetta against He's got a vendetta against Marcus Rashford. I'm sure he has. He's like, you didn't feed my kids. Oh no, you're not. No, you're not getting through here. But it was bizarre. So yeah. So that's kind of the way up with Rashford and with
Didn't feed my kids.
Ronaldo didn't feed his kids, so I'm not letting you score. Right. That's. Well, yeah. Let's talk about Chelsea as well, because Chelsea, I thought, after they made the change, I think Graham Potter made a very brave decision, and it paid off for him, really.
Yeah.
I mean, he's lucky, I guess. It was Cucurella he brought off, who he knows very well.
Yeah.
Might not have gone down so well if it was one of the other players.
Possibly.
Who he didn't know so well, but he could probably get away with it with Cucurella. And then the fact that, it was pure a tactical decision. It wasn't I think you're playing badly kind of decision.
It was going to a back four just to try and stem the tide. Yeah.
But it was that draw that opened up the door for Newcastle to get into the top four.
Yeah.
But time will tell. Right then. Arsenal then. Let's take ourselves to the top of the table. Arsenal could only manage a draw against Southampton. Xhaka gets the early goal for Arsenal, but they couldn't hold it together. Armstrong with a good goal.
Yeah, good goal.
It was a
good game of football. Yeah.
Yeah. An odd game in some respects. I think Arsenal, they weren't their very best that they've been this season.
No, but then you can't win week in, week out. The big thing is don't lose.
Yeah.
And obviously they didn't. They still maintain the gap at the top.
Yeah, keep it to 2 points.
Yeah.
But yeah, very, very. They'll be disappointed really that they've dropped the points. Though I think Arsenal, I think they would have thought.
They would have thought they'll beat Southampton given the form that they've been in. Yeah.
Yeah. But a big point for Southampton as well. Really, I mean, every point counts when they're down that end of the table. But they show signs that this was one of those performances, Southampton performances, though, wasn't it? Where it's like, okay, they're on it this week.
Yeah, yeah, it was good. Southampton.
The Jekyll and Hyde. Yeah, that is Southampton. Right, that's all the Sunday's games done. Back to Saturday then. We've got Everton's big win over Palace. Good performance I felt from Everton. Calvert-Lewin back amongst the goals.
Yeah, almost a demolition job, wasn't it?
Well, it was really. I thought they were phenomenal. Palace Everton hardly had a look in that whole game, and they needed that. They had been on 3 games they'd lost on the trot.
Yeah, until that point. Obviously, you say Calvert-Lewin gets his goal.
Yeah, and gets him a good start
in as well.
Yeah, getting that good start though, I think was vital for him actually. Because when you are on those losing streak, you need that bit of confidence boost, and getting that early goal would have given them the boost then. You just, if they hadn't have scored for a while in that game and it drags on, then, Palace probably come into it a bit more.
Yes, yeah, I agree, yeah.
But the early goal meant that they had something to build confidence off the back of, and, Palace didn't really create much. They weren't really that much. There wasn't that much danger coming from them, despite,
which is surprising.
It is.
The 3 players, or the 4 players that they had out there, at least say Eze, Zaha and Edouard, they've all been playing very well this season.
They have done well, but it just didn't seem to click today for them. Well, Saturday for them. And then obviously Brighton, Man City, City carried on. Haaland got a couple of goals. De Bruyne gets the other one. It's not a lot to say about City. There isn't. They just keep going.
No,
they're a very, very good football
credit to
team.
Brighton in this one. Obviously, they were 2-0 down at half time, but they went for it.
Yeah, they did go for it. They got a goal back, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you never know.
They tried to punch blow for blow with City, and it nearly paid off. Nearly.
It did, but I think when you're up against that attack, though.
Kevin De Bruyne's goal, superb. Yeah. To kill the game, absolutely.
It's just never too wise a thing. I think, get the first goal and then just kind of see where you go from there. I think they just seem to want to keep going at them,
pushing forward. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe take stock, settle yourself, get the nerves growing in the stadium more than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can kind of find your way maybe towards the end of the game to get that opportunity in the last 10 minutes or so to get the equaliser. I just felt after they scored, they were like, oh, okay, we're going to go again. But against that City side, I'm not sure that's necessarily the smart way of doing it.
It's punch, then counter punch. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and that leaves us then with the Monday night game. West Ham starting to pick up their form.
They are. What did you think about the controversial handball?
I don't think it was that bad, was it?
No. Obviously, they've changed the ruling or the wording of the ruling.
Yeah.
It took so long to sort it out. I think that's the only issue.
No, that was the main issue. That was the main problem, but I don't think there's not too much to worry about.
There can't be too much debate about it. No.
Yeah,
obviously,
I think we've seen very similar things
in front of him. I've got more grief with the second goal than I have with the first one.
Yeah.
Because again, it's this whole thing of he's making himself bigger. He's sliding across the pitch.
Yeah.
You are going to your arms are going to go into a different position if you're sliding.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what the line is for being too far away from your body or being too close to your body.
Yeah.
That's the difficulty with that one.
It is. That one is more difficult because, like you say, it's like if you're stretching, you're diving across, you're trying to do something, your arms are naturally going to go out. But at the same time, you are kind of making your surface area bigger.
You are making your surface area bigger.
So it's a tricky one. It's a tricky one. But they need to bottom these things out, I think.
They need to sort out the grayer areas in the... It doesn't help that the rulings are that ambiguous, that there is sort of interpretation allowed.
Yeah. It's
either black or white, isn't it?
Yeah, and that will always lead to inconsistency, really, where there are those type of decisions.
Yeah.
Because, the moment of the game can affect a decision of a referee. A crowd might get on them.
Yeah.
And it's just in that moment, the reaction is as well mannered as it might be. I'm sure I'm absolutely convinced no referee goes out there and goes, I'm not giving them a penalty no matter what. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's just in the moment, you're a human and you make a decision. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad.
They're not, yeah. But if the penalty is the first goal rather than the second goal, that completely changes the game.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And that's the things that we need to tighten up a little bit in the Premier League. I mean, they were using VAR in Scotland for the first time this weekend, and they now know exactly how it feels.
Yeah, they had a few moments up there, didn't they?
They did.
The weekend as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, so good win for West Ham though overall. If we put it into that context, they needed
the top 10.
Started to find their form. Bournemouth starting to show signs again. Regressing back to how they were at the start of the season.
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting. I mean, they're going to be ups and downs, I think. Bournemouth away from home.
They're a team without a manager. Gary O'Neill is in temporary charge. Obviously, they're another team that are probably going to wait until the World Cup and then make a decision then.
Yeah.
It's going to be an interesting time once the World Cup starts because there's still going to be stuff going on at home.
Yeah, there's going to be lots going on. Lots to keep an eye on. So we'll see how it all pans out. Right, that's the Premier League wrapped up. Good times. Shall we have a little trip around the world?
Let's go around the world, shall we? And I'll start this week in Serie A, where Fiorentina and Inter played out a 7-goal thriller, with former Manchester United and Arsenal winger Henrik Mkhitaryan scoring the winning goal in added time. Lazio ended Atalanta's unbeaten start to the season as they leapfrogged them in the table as a result. There were goals galore in the Bundesliga this weekend as Dortmund and Mainz both hit 5. Augsburg and Leipzig shared 6 goals between them, and just the 2 for Bayern Munich, but it was enough to close the gap to 1 point after Union Berlin lost. In La Liga, Barcelona hit 4 after last week's Clásico disappointment. It was a 3-1 win for Real over Sevilla to maintain their 2-point lead at the top. Villarreal beat Almeria by 2-1 in what proved to be Unai Emery's last game in charge. Plenty of goals around France as well, as Lille beat Monaco 4-3. PSG won by 3-0 to continue to lead the way. In the WSL, Nikita Paris scored the only goal as Manchester United beat Leicester. There were also wins for West Ham, Arsenal, Chelsea, Manchester City and Everton. And whilst we're here, we should wish Chelsea manager Emma Hayes a speedy recovery after her surgery. We are now into the semi-final stage of the MLS playoffs. LAFC will take on Austin, and Philadelphia advance to take on New York City for a place in the final. Melbourne City beat Melbourne Victory 2-0 in the A-League to maintain their 100% start to the season. And finally, we end with the craziness that is the National League. So it was Torquay versus Altrincham this week. Torquay were 2-0 down before going 3-2 ahead. They then had a man sent off before conceding a 90th minute goal to go 4-3 down, only to equalise in the 7th minute of added time.
Crazy game.
I was watching that more than I was watching Chelsea United. I'm really sorry.
Don't blame me. That is a crazy game of football. For all. Lovely stuff. That is what we like to see. And go on, Nikita Paris. Get in your first goal for United. Right. Donis, any updates from our football manager wonder kid, Donis Avdijaj?
Okay, so FC Zurich have played 2 games since we've last been with you.
Okay.
They picked up a point. They picked up a point on Thursday, drawing with Basel.
Nice. That's a good
they
win.
Lost to Grasshoppers 4-1 at the weekend.
Right.
Donis did get on.
Guessing that was the football club, not the insect.
We've had this joke already.
Have we?
Yeah.
Oh, we've had it again.
Donis did get on after the, I think it was about 66 minutes. Trouble is, they were only 3 down by that point.
Oh, well, what a waste of time that is. Yeah. Give him a chance, guys.
Yeah. I mean, if he's going to come on and save the day, you need to give him...
Yeah, you need to give him a chance. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so FC Zurich is still without a win. And they are the only side now without a win.
Not ideal. Not ideal at all. Unlucky them. Okay. Right. I guess then at this point it's time to have a little look at next week's fixtures.
Yeah, next week. So coming up this weekend, we've got Leicester and Manchester City starting the weekend at 12:30. Then there are 5 games at 3 o'clock, including Newcastle and Aston Villa, Bournemouth and Tottenham, Brighton and Chelsea, Crystal Palace, Southampton, and Brentford taking on Wolves. The 5:30 game is at Craven Cottage, Fulham versus Everton. There's a 7:45 game as well on Saturday night, Liverpool taking on Leeds, before Arsenal meet Nottingham Forest at 2 o'clock on Sunday, before Manchester United take on West Ham at 4:15.
Nice, slightly earlier.
Not 4:30, which is surprising.
It is a bit odd, but I'm sure there's reasons for it.
Maybe.
Keep an eye out a few times then this weekend then, everyone. Right then, that pretty much leaves us to say thank you very much for listening. Don't forget, if you do want to get in touch with us, then you can tweet us at Let's Football Pod. You can email us at letsfootballpod@gmail.com. We'll be back next week breaking down all the games from this weekend of the Premier League. But in the meantime, everyone, stay safe, look after yourselves, and we will see you all very, very soon.
Bye.
Bye.